Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness in the Time of the Shift. Today, I want to talk to you about the WESAK Festival, which is scheduled to happen at the full moon in Taurus, which will be, the actual full moon will fall on May 18th, 2019. Let me explain what the festival is about. WESAK is an actual valley in Tibet. It is a very narrow gorge that has a kind of a flat stone in the middle of it. And it is the geometric center of the crown chakra of the planet. The earth, like all physical body, has chakras, but just a little bit more than us. It has 156 chakras. And that's the WESAK Valley is the geometric center of the crown chakra. Every year of the full moon in Taurus, the Tibetan get together in that valley to receive the latest dispensation from God and from the spiritual government of the planet as to the latest pieces of information, blessings that God is trying to channel for planetary evolution, growth, and ascension. So at this time, if you cannot be in the WESAK Valley, you gather in collectives and groups, since all of the chakras are interconnected through ley lines, and you receive the same blessings. I have been celebrating WESAK in New York now for 11 years in a row. This will be the 11th year. We will be celebrating in New York City at the Alchemical Studio on May the 12th, which is a week before the actual full moon. It's 14th Street and 6th Avenue. It's a building away from that corner. And then that will be the full day. And then the following weekend, Friday, May 17th, Saturday the 18th, and Sunday the 19th, we will be celebrating a 3-day retreat and festival at the Gaiaville Retreat Center. Every year, WESAK has a theme. Last year, it was the sprouting. This year, the theme is revealing God's light, freedom, liberation, and ascension to the world. This is a huge theme. And for that revelation to happen, because God's light and energy is everywhere. God is not disconnected to us, but we in the 3D reality in this density are disconnected to it. And because of this, we are living in a maya, an illusion. A 3D hologram that we have created as a fabrication of our collective consciousness to keep us disempowered because we feel undeserving of the ease and the flow that this light could provide us. For preparation, every year now for the past 4 years, we've been having a fire ceremony. The fire ceremony will be this year on the Saturday, May 18th. At the end of the day, around right before dusk, and we will gather outside of the retreat center to start a fire ceremony where we're going to call upon God's light as we create a circle around the fire to come in ground and cascade into the earth so that the light of God can finally be revealed. Now, for this to happen, all of us who are going to be there must collectively prepare our consciousness so that we can actually do this. God's energy and light cannot be revealed unless we, each one of us individually, have shifted our awareness and our consciousness and create a space for that benevolence to show up. And once it shows up in us, then we collectively share it with each other. We can share it with the planet. for that to occur, there is a level of simplicity and clarity that must occur in our consciousness. And I'm doing this video as a way to prepare all of you who have intention of coming to the WESAK Festival to know what you need to do, your homework between now and then. So the first thing that I want to say is that one of my guilty pleasures is that I love to watch Kung Fu movies. And about 3 weeks ago, I was watching this particular Kung Fu movie. I think it's called The Four. Yes, it's called The Four. And there is a Kung Fu master there, a very advanced Kung Fu master that is able to do all kinds of things with the chi, and he can bring energy and create all kinds of fields and vortex around him. And a less senior master, a swordsman, was sitting across from him. They're playing Chinese checkers, and he said, the less senior said to the elder, "You're such a great master. The moment I saw what you could do, I had to step back. I was embarrassed about what I was doing." And the master responded and said, "Power? I don't have any power." And he was drinking tea. He said, "You see, my heart is empty. That's the reason I can do what I can do." He took the cup and went like this. He said, he told Torito, I said, "When you're empty, since the universe abhors a vacuum, energy from around nature flow into me." That is fundamentally the state of consciousness that one needs to be in to be able to do what we are tasked to do. We have to be in a state of emptiness. And that emptiness requires that we see, all of us through our negative ego have created convoluted, highly sophisticated and devious and twisted turns in terms of what we think we should do because we have control issues. However, God, what we call God, is simple. It's completely elegant. You cannot deceive it, and there is no kind of twist or turn in its reasoning. First of all, it is a stillness, it is an emptiness, and it is simultaneously a vast and infinite space, but that vastness is not empty. Often people talk about it as being silence, but the silence is not mute. The silence is actually speaking and whispering and giving to you solution set that can come to you and begin to transform and change you in ways that you could not even imagine. That with your normal control 3D perception, you cannot possibly comprehend. And it is when you go into that space, you have to surrender all of your burden. You have to empty yourself like the cup. You have to let go. And when you empty yourself and let go, miraculous and impossible things happens. And I can explain to you, I can mention to you some of the things that happened to me, and I don't want to get caught up, get you sidetracked in details, but I can tell you the most miraculous and instantaneous spiritual experiences that occurred to me occurred in that space, where I went into God or into my higher power and simply asked for help. Help me with, and then whatever it is that I needed the help with. And the moment that I was in that space of asking that vastness and infinitude, and for me to ask for help, it means that I have to release my own control. We all have, or running around thinking we're God's assistant, and we need to do this and that or the other in order for this, that, and the other to happen. And we have all of this machination and all of this things that we think we should do. Whereas if you go into that space and say to God, I am unburdening myself. I cannot do this alone. help me. And when you get into a space of that surrender, and then you let go of you trying to control, the emptiness get filled with all kinds of subtle and not so subtle energies and answers that comes to you and begin to solve your problem, your predicament, your conundrum, and sometimes instantaneously. I will tell you one story, and it's about what the Kabbalah says about the passage of the Red Sea. In the Bible, it is mentioned that whilst the children of Israel, 3 million of them were at the edge of the Red Sea, Pharaoh was behind them, and the column of fire was holding Pharaoh back. And Moses realized that they were basically pinned and that they were going to die. He asked God for help, and God said, extend your staff on the water, and the water separated, and the children of Israel passed. Pharaoh followed, and the water swallowed them. But the Kabbalah said that's not what happened. When Moses talked to God, God responded and said, jump in the water. And when Moses told the children of Israel, many of them got very upset. We were slaves in Egypt, they started saying to him, but at least we were alive. Pharaoh was going to kill us, and they were upset. Moses said, this is not what God is trying to tell us. God already is saying that we already have the means to create the miracle. He's already giving us the means to do it. So during that night, he took all 3 million of them and guided them to become empty. He guided them to surrender control and to collectively begin to go into a state where they are asking, God, help us. In the early morning as the sun rose, a young Israelite named Makshoni moved as everybody was watching him toward the water. And he started walking on the beach, water up to his ankle, in complete certainty that he is supported. Water to his knees, in complete certainty that he is sheltered and protected by God. Water to his waist, water to his chest, water to his shoulders, water in his mouth, and as the water is about to engulf him, the water separated. What I'm saying here to the story is that it was not Moses who separated the water, but it was the certainty of 3 million people. Moreover, interestingly enough, the Kabbalah says something very interesting, that when you're in that state of being, of surrendered, the laws of nature will suspend and obey you. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. Because they said, as they continued, it wasn't that just the Red Sea separated, but every body of water on earth separated simultaneously. We are living in a time of spiritual crises. There are all kinds of other realities that are seeking to amass as many souls as possible and cohabiting in the same space. We feel pulled energetically by many things. What I'm asking all of you to do is that leading up to the WESAK festival, you need to begin to learn how to elevate yourself and surrendering yourself into that space. And I'm going to show you a breath control technique called the riding of the towel. And if you could imagine for a moment that your lung does not just go from in your chest cavity, but it's a tube that extends into the ground and into the core planet, and it equally extends all the way down up into source outside of time and space. Now we're going to take 12 breaths. I'm not going to do all 12 of them, but I'm just going to guide you to a few of them, to about 4 of them so that you understand. And you do this on a daily basis every day. to basically realign it's called your chakra column or the antakarana, to align in all of the dimensions of time and space, to align yourself correctly so that you're open. This breath control will allow you to create emptiness. So the first breath, you're going to inhale as if your lung is in the core of the planet. So you're going to inhale from the core of the earth. And you're going to let this, you're energetically moving the breath through your body. And then when it goes outside of your head, you exhale. Now at the back end of the exhale, once you exhale completely, there is a pause. And that pause is called the retention of the breath in yoga. But it is also the sweet spot. It is 0 point. This is the place where God communicates with you. And as you get into that pause, you begin to feel, first of all, when you release, you feel unburdened. There's a letting go. And as you let go and you surrender, then you get into that pause, you wait for the pause, and the pause comes in, you will feel all kinds of rushing of blessing and grace coming toward you. And when you feel all of that coming in, you inhale again, and you bring that blessing into the core of the earth. Now, that's the fundamental of the breath. I'm going to add to it mantras, 2 sentences each that we're going to say for each direction. As you're going up, you're going to say, please forgive me, I love you, and I let go. And then you're going to exhale, wait for the retention, and once the blessings begin to come, inhale again. And as you're bringing this in, you're going to say, thank you for the blessings. I accept the gifts, and I receive with gratitude. Okay? Now, as you do this breath, if you have any core issue that you're dealing with, let's say that day you're depressed, or you're worried about your finances, or you feel burdened by something, whatever it is that you're feeling, as you take the breath from the core of the earth, the sludge, whatever the sensation is, particularly if you have a feeling connected to it, not so much a thought, but a feeling. It has to be very simple. That energy, that retention, understands simplicity. We, as human beings, intend and unintend 3 to 5 times per minute. It has to be completely simple. So as you inhale, and you have a feeling, a sensation of a burden, move it, exhale. As you're saying, please forgive me, I love you, and I let go. Now, as you release, you wait for the retention. And once you feel the energies and the blessings coming toward you, inhale and bring the exact scalar invert, the opposite frequency, to cancel the burden that you had into your body. And say, thank you for the blessings. I accept the gifts, and I receive with gratitude. Now, if you do this 12 times in a row, let's say in the morning, that should take you about not even 5 minutes. Your antakarana is going to be completely open. You're going to feel very wide and very tall and completely unburdened. The sensation that I get personally when I'm done with this is that when I step out of my apartment and I go out in the street, I feel like I have a flashlight above my head. All the wrinkles, everything is gone. I am at peace. I'm in serenity. I'm empty. And in that emptiness, miraculous thing begins to happen, because sometimes you don't even know that you're burdened, and then an issue that was subconscious and suppressed comes up, and the solution set for it automatically comes. And so when you're in that space, you begin to have a conversation with your benefactor and your creator. you're in a state of blessings. Now, for us to do what we need to do at WESAK, you have to first unburden yourself. You cannot give what you don't know. You cannot give what you don't have. You have to begin by unburdening yourself. You have to start by actually manifesting the passage of the Red Sea for yourself. You have to go into the certainty for yourself, for your issues. And for a lot of us, that's very difficult because a lot of us feel undeserving of that grace and that ease. We want things to be complicated because we believe that we are shameful of that ease. So that's what you need to work on between now and WESAK, so that by the time we get there, you're so open that you will allow this to come so that the rest of the planet can enjoy that ease. So we have work to do. I am in the process of doing my work every day. My students are aware of this. I will be posting this on all of the typical channel on YouTube and everywhere else, so that those of you who are interested in coming to the WESAK Festival that we're holding, again, May 12th in New York City, May 17, 18, and 19, 2019 in the Catskill at the Guyville Retreat Center. And we would love for you to join us. Help co-create this marvelous, this incredible event. If you want to be participating in this, you should be doing this practice on a daily basis, leading to the festival. Because if you come in and you are not prepared, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to pass out. The energy is going to be too intense. You're literally going to fall asleep and you're going to pass out, because you won't be able to hold that kind of brilliance. So I hope you can join me, and we can help co-create, and we can become the founder, the founding member, the founder of the future Earth. Thank you for joining me. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.